In the previous lecture, we have discussed about DOS commands, internal and external commands, wildcards used with commands, attributes of DOS file with attrib command, and some important internal commands of DOS and dir command in detail. Now, in this lecture, we will discuss some important internal commands of DOS other than that which were discussed in previous lecture, and external commands of DOS will also be discussed. The internal commands reside in command.com, which loads into memory when the computer system is started. These commands do not reside on disk in the form of file in the directory. So these commands are executable immediately after getting the DOS prompt. They are also called as memory resident commands. We have discussed some internal commands in the previous lecture. Now we will discuss some more important internal commands one by one. Del or erase command. This command is used for deleting one or more files. Syntax of this command is del drive : path file name /p, erase drive : path file name /p, where /p prompts for confirmation before deleting each file. An example for this del d : /test1.doc/p. It will prompt and delete test1.doc from the D drive if user confirms. Another syntax of del command is del /p /f /s /q /a : attributes name, erase /p /f /s /q /a : attributes name. In this syntax, name specifies a list of one or more files or directories. Wildcards may be used to delete multiple files as discussed in earlier lecture. If a directory is specified, all files within the directory will be deleted. If we use /p, it will prompt for confirmation before deleting each file as we discussed earlier. And if we use /f, it will force to delete of read-only files. And if we use /s, it will delete specified files from all the subdirectories. For example, in the test folder, various files and folders are available. And if we want to delete a file, test.doc, then /s will delete test.doc files from test folder, and also from its subfolders where test.doc is available. That means all test.doc files will be deleted from test folder and from its various subfolders. /q is quiet mode. It will not wait for confirmation to delete. /a is used to select files to delete based on attributes. /p option should be used because this will prompt for confirmation before deleting any file. Copy command. Copy command is used for copying files within the same drive as well as to another drive. For copying the files in the same drive, we use copy source file name destination. For example, C prompt copy test.doc, D : will copy test.doc to D drive. Another example, C prompt copy test.doc, test1.doc will create new file test1.doc if it is not available and copy data of test.doc to test1.doc, while if file is available, then it will also ask to overwrite. To copy all data from one folder to another, write copy D : /test *** D : /test _backup /. This will copy entire data of test folder to test _backup folder. The move command is used to permanently move the files from one location to another, that is, move source file, destination drive or directory. For example, cprompt move d:/test/test.doc e:/test. The VOL command. The VOL command is used to check the volume of the disk drive. It displays the volume information of the current disk drive. For example, VOL drive name, that is cprompt VOL or dprompt VOL. Knowing the versions of OS. The VER command is used to display the version of the operating system that is used in the computer. For example, cprompt VER returns the version of your OS. Displaying or changing the current date or time. For displaying the date from the system, date command is used. It returns the current system date. Similarly, the time command returns the current time from the system, like cprompt date and cprompt time. Both will show current date and time of system and gives option to change the date or time. You can enter new date or time here, while if you don't want to change, simply press the enter key. Date command is used for date, while time command is used for time separately. CLS command. To clear the cluttered and clumsy screen, CLS command is used. This clears the screen and moves the cursor back to the top of the screen. To clear screen, use C:/CLS. MS-DOS commands, those are not included in command.com, are called external DOS commands. The DOS external commands are disk bound. That means they must be fetched from the disk and loaded into RAM each time they are used. These commands are meant for special purposes and are also called as disk resident commands. Now we will discuss some important external commands one by one. The label command. It is used to check the label of the disk that you have been currently working, that is, label drive name. For example, cprompt label will show details of drive with label and also provides an option to set or change the label with its optional. Xcopy command. Xcopy command is used to copy the files from one location to another along with the directories and subdirectories. Syntax of this command is xcopy source file or folder name destination, drive or folder. Example, xcopy d:/test e:/test. This will copy all files of test folder of D drive to test folder of E drive, but will not copy subdirectories and files of test folder. For copying all the subdirectories and files, /s is used. For example, xcopy d:/test e:/test/s. This will copy all files and subdirectories of test folder of D drive to test folder of E drive, but will not copy empty subdirectories of test folder. For copying all the subdirectories including empty subdirectories and files, /e is used. For example, xcopy d:/test e:/test/e. This will copy all files and subdirectories of test folder of D drive to test folder of E drive, including empty subdirectories of test folder. The disk copy command. The disk copy command is used to copy all the files from one floppy disk to another. Both the floppy disks must be the same type. Syntax: disk copy first disk drive : second disk drive. Example, disk copy A:/B:. The disk comp command. The disk comp command in MS-DOS compares the content of two floppy disks. The system first reads the contents of one disk and compares it with another. Example, disk comp A:/B:. Format command. Format command is used to erase data or information from a floppy disk, hard disk or removable disk. This command is used to prepare a diskette for use. Format checks the diskette for bad spots and builds a directory to hold information about the files that will eventually be written on it. In order for MS-DOS to be able to use a new disk, you must first use this command to format the disk. Syntax: cprompt format drive name. For example, cprompt format A:. Here, A is a drive parameter used for floppy disk drive. Now using switches. /q specifies a quick format of a disk. With this switch, format deletes the file allocation table (FAT) and the root directory of a previously formatted disk, but does not scan the disk for bad areas. Use the /q switch to format only previously formatted disks that you know are in good condition. /u specifies an unconditional format of a disk. Unconditional formatting destroys all existing data on a disk and prevents you from later unformatting the disk. You should use /u if you have received read and write errors during use of a disk. /s copies the operating system files io.sys, ms-dos.sys and command.com from your system's startup drive to a newly formatted disk that you can use as a system disk. If format cannot find the operating system files, it prompts you to insert a system disk. Tree command. Tree command shows the structure of a directory like the branches of a tree. It lists the full patch of each directory along with the name of their subdirectories. Syntax of tree command is cprompt tree full path of drive or folder. For example, cprompt tree d: or dprompt tree. It displays the full tree structure starting from the root directory of D drive. Another example is d:/test prompt tree. It displays the tree structure starting from the test directory. More command. The more command is used to view the contents of directories or files one line after the other. It displays the content of a file to the screen, then pauses and prints more at the end. Press any key to continue printing the file content to the screen. Example, suppose you have typed a command and got a series of lines scrolling, you didn't catch anything. Just type !" more at the end of command to pause the display. Syntax of more command is dir more. An example is dir c:/dir/p more. chkdsk command. chkdsk means checking a disk. It is a utility that checks disk for errors. If a disk is not used properly, then certain sectors of the disk can get corrupted or damaged. Today, SanDisk is used because it is more reliable. To check the status of disk, type cprompt chkdsk d:. If user runs chkdsk using the /f option, the program tries to correct errors when it finds them. MEM command displays available memory on your system. Now we will show you some important tips that usually help users while working with the DOS commands. Switch. Many of the commands will have extra options available known as switches. They are added to the command by entering a/, then a letter, number or word. These can change how the tool works or handles the information. For example, dir/p. Here, /p is a switch. Help command. cprompt help gives the list of all available DOS commands. cprompt help command name like cprompt help dir gives complete information of dir command with syntax and available switches with dir command. It can also be written as cpromptdir /?. It is same as cprompt help dir. Breaking a command. If you start a command, it appears to be looping, showing more than you expect. Then you can break or stop it using the key combination Ctrl+C or Ctrl+pause or break. DOS key keeps a history of previously entered commands. This allows frequently used commands to be used without typing the commands again each time you need to use it. To navigate the history, press the keys which are shown on screen. Up arrow recalls older commands. Down arrow recalls newly added commands. Escape stops recalling and clears the command line. F7 display history in pop-up. Arrow key is to scroll, enter is to select. Alt F7 immediately erases command history. F8 search history. Press F8 again to find next. Exit from a command prompt. To exit from a command prompt, type exit and press enter. It will close the prompt. DOS is the most commonly used single-user operating system. It offers a platform on which different application programs can be run. DOS basically acts as a translator and helps user to communicate with hardware. In this lecture, we have discussed about some important internal commands like delete and copy and some external DOS commands like format and chkdsk checking a disk. We have also discussed some important tips which can help users while working with DOS.